Hello and welcome. Welcome, everyone, to the third ever Cyber Monday event here with our guest speaker, Sergey. All right.
Hello, hello.
He's going to be talking about cybersecurity and just, cybersecurity for
The
professionals and
cybersecurity mindset for teens and
right. There we
non-professionals.
go. There we
Yeah,
go. There we go. All right. So without further ado, I'm going to hand it off to him and yeah, we'll get going. Thank you.
thanks a lot, Ryan. Thanks for having me. Okay, so my name is Sergey Korol. Online, I go by K Bandwidth. I'm a junior SOC analyst, a pen tester. I formerly worked in hospitality and logistics. I've been in the cybersecurity field for about 2 years now. Uh, After spending my time in hospitality and logistics, I've realized that I actually have the proper mindset and proper skill set to pursue cyber. When cyber was actually a topic I was really passionate about even before that. For example, when I got my Samsung phone, one of the first things I did was look up a way to jailbreak the software and actually install different programs that weren't available in my area, install new operating systems that were homebrewed, a lot of fun stuff like that. Messed around with Nintendo DS, some changing physics engines in games, things like that. So yeah, I've been involved in the cybersecurity field for a long time, but never felt like I have the proper skills to pursue it. And after my work in hospitality and logistics, I felt more confident about it all and decided to consolidate my knowledge by joining a SOC Tier 2 course. And after completing the course, I've been doing research, networking with people, expanding my knowledge. Currently, I'm trying to focus on app security, web pen testing, and my programming skills. I'd really like to pick up stuff like Python to do some automation and to also develop my knowledge in reading code. Besides cyber, I also enjoy watching anime. I'm a gamer. I love any kind of music, like give me Tibetan throat singing, give
Stuff
me
like
like I don't know, Mongolian singing, whatever. I enjoy it. And I also do free diving on my spare time. But that's about me. Let's get to the talk itself. So, we're going to be talking about cybersecurity awareness for teens and other non professionals, or how not to lose your wallet. Now, what I mean about that is for me, the cybersecurity mindset is very parallel between online and offline. Like behaviors that I have offline and certain things that would cause suspicion for me also cause suspicion for me online. I always try to parallel the two situations to really understand how I would react. So, why are we having this talk? I was talking to my 14-year-old cousin, and I realized there's a big gap in his knowledge about cybersecurity and about his basically best practices and his habits online. A situation that would cause him to be suspicious offline didn't cause any strange feelings or any strange gut feelings for him online. One example I have is I was watching a streamer with him on YouTube, and the kid was his age, 14, 15. He was playing on a Minecraft on a private Minecraft server, and there was this one guy there using a voice modulator, changing his voice completely. And I asked my cousin, like, who's that? And he said, oh yeah, it's some guy in his 30s. He's been on the server for a long time. He's always on there. He's talking to all kinds of kids. He's giving them free items and stuff like that. So I turned to my cousin and I asked him, like, okay, imagine this. Say you're at the playground, you come in with a bunch of your friends, and you see a guy like swinging on the swings. You come up to him and ask him who he is, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I've been visiting this park for plenty of years now. I always play here. Here's some candy. Play with me." How would you react? And he told me like I'd either call my parents or call the cops. And I told them, so you think that's not normal? But why do you think it's normal in a Minecraft server? Like the danger online is much bigger because that person, you never know what he wants. You have no way to identify him. Like in real life, you at least have a face. You have like a silhouette of the body. You have some kind of information that you're getting passively. Online, you don't have all of that. You have a nickname. You have, again, even a voice changer. So if the person wants to disappear, it's so easy for them to do. And like that made me, it was a red flag for me. Basically, I was afraid that if he doesn't have that awareness, something might actually happen to him. So I told him that if he sees something similar like that next time, to talk to me. And a few more talks later like that, I actually got to the topic of this talk that we're having right now. This talk is basically a collection of the different types of advice that I gave him throughout the different talks we've had. And I feel like the lessons that he's learned made him more responsible, and that's what I want to give to the viewers right now. I want to empower them, like I empowered my cousin, because he, for example, he now helps his parents with the things that are cybersecurity related, that caused them to have more trust in him. Like it's also made him closer with his parents, which is nice. So yeah, let's get to the talk itself. First of all, let's talk about protecting your online presence. Uh, we're starting simple. Basically, it's how you manage your privacy settings and how much you want to reveal of yourself. Think about it like this: do you put on pants when you walk outside? Like, say you woke up in the morning, you're going to school. You'll probably put on pants, put on a shirt. Why? Because there's some parts of yourself that you're willing to reveal to the world, and some parts that you want to keep private. So same thing online. You need to choose what parts of yourself do you show. So for example, here on the right, we have an example from Discord. The privacy setting is on Discord. Usually, any service that is worth its bread, basically, that has a name behind it, the company that has a brand, will have something like this. The privacy settings actually allow you to decide how much you want to show and to who you want to show it. So I'd advise to select who you want to get the direct messages from, because you don't want to get the random messages from random people. Of course, there's all kinds of scammers. There's bots right now. You don't need that noise. Save yourself the moment it will take you to delete it. You can also filter different messages to not expose yourself to content that might not be appropriate to you. And now, usually when that's told to kids, they think uh, it more evokes their curiosity, and it works like a reverse psychology, and they want to go and look for it. But the thing is, trust me when I say this, there's some things you really don't want to see without having some kind of context or some kind of preparation, because they stay with you, and even years later you still don't know how to digest them. So don't do that to yourself, please. In that regard, we have another example here from WhatsApp settings. Recently, there's been a case on the news over here that people were added randomly to WhatsApp groups that contained banned content. And once that group was reported to WhatsApp itself, the group was blocked along with all the participants in it. So an easy way to avoid that is to control who can add you to groups. I would advise to change it to your contacts or to close it off completely unless you have a group that you're gonna join. And that way, it's an easy way to save yourself from, waking up one morning and finding out that your account was banned. And from protecting your online presence, from tools that are given to you to protect yourself, I'll move on to how the tools you can use to protect yourself. So the first and main tool I would talk about is password safety and management. Why strong passwords are the first line of defense. So in this example, I would like you to look at these keys. Which key would be easier to make a copy of? The one on the left, which has like a simple shape, nothing intricate in it, easy to remember, easy to duplicate, or the one on the right with its grooves and different combinations and everything. I'm sure you'll select the key on the right if you want to protect your room or your house or something like that, and not go with the lock on the left. So, what are the ways to actually do that and protect your password? First of all, an important thing is to have a longer password. It's not about complexity, because computers don't care about the different characters. They're not looking for any logic or words. Computers can just scan according to you. You tell them to scan for six-letter words, they'll scan all of them. The question is how long it takes. A longer password will take significantly longer. There's charts online. I didn't want to include it here because I didn't want to have too much math. But basically, it can be the distance between taking 2 days to crack a password and 2 years to crack a password. So try to choose a long password. And my advice with that is try to go for song lyrics or maybe a phrase you like. maybe a quote from a series you really love or something like that, and just use that as a password. You can throw in a few capital letters or something like that to make it harder for people to guess. But in terms of computers, a longer password is better. You don't need to really periodically change your password. There's no real need to change a password because frequent changes lead to you using the same password over and over. You don't always remember what you used before. It also causes you to think up passwords that are more easy to remember for you and thus easier to expose if someone is looking for them. So only change your password if you saw that it was breached or there's some kind of announcement about a leak of information. There's no need to change it if there's no actual cue to say it needs changing. Also, of course, a piece of more basic advice is don't use basic passwords. Don't use something that's easy to type or easy to remember, because if it's easy for you, it's easier for the hacker. Again, with our keys, if you use a simple key, the lock will be easy to break into. Also, a piece of advice that I would like to give is to use a password manager. If you're having trouble to remember all your passwords, use a password manager. It's a more secure vault where you can store all your password. It has one master password, one master key, which you can save somewhere real safe. You have no reason to reuse it anywhere, and that will give you access to any other passwords that you need. So you don't need to remember that much. Do not use the option to store your passwords in the browser, because that's not a safe vault. That's basically, if we try to think of a real world example, that's like placing your vault near the window. A good thief can just put his hands in and take the vault itself, and then he can mess around with it at home. He doesn't have to crack it at your house. So that's basically the same thing with browsers. If a hacker gets access to your system, they can pull the information from the browser, and in that one moment, they have all your passwords. So that's not really recommended. Don't do that. Get a proper password manager. Personally, I'm using Bitwarden. It's not a recommendation. Try to see, ask around what your friends use. Maybe your parents have something set up. You can use that. Beyond passwords, there's another tool that you can use to protect yourself. I mean, why have only one lock when you can have multiple locks? So let's talk about two-factor authentication. I'm sure you've heard this topic brought up a lot recently. It's been kind of popular right now. Basically, again, let's look at our example on the right. Which door would you think a thief will go for? The door on the right that's probably opened with the door on the left that probably opens with the key we had on the previous slide, just a simple lock that will take a moment to break, or the door on the right that has multiple locks. He's not even sure how they work. If he wants to do a quick smash and grab, I think he'll go for the one on the left. So don't be the one on the left, be the one on the right. Any lock can be broken into. It's just a question of how long it'll take. So the door on the left will take about 30 seconds for someone skilled. The door on the right can take them half an hour. If they want to do a quick job, they won't go for the door on the right. That's why you should enable two-factor authentication. It's even better than a physical door, because on the one side you have your password, which you store in your head, or maybe you wrote it down on a piece of paper somewhere near you in your room. And on the other hand, you have your two-factor authentication. You have some kind of authenticator that's sitting on your phone. It's either the phone itself, it's an app within the phone. It's another step you need to take to unlock the account. However, a hacker looking up from the outside on you, they don't know your phone number. They don't have access to your email. So even if they do have your password, they still can get access to your account because they don't have the second factor. And even if you switch the situation, say someone stole your phone and they have access to all your apps. If they don't actually have your password, they still can access the account. So it's always a matter of having the two keys, and you don't actually have the keys in your pockets. One key is stored with you, the other key is laid somewhere in another place. So that's a layer of security that will make it significantly harder for someone to get access to your apps. Another way, like if we're talking about protecting data, we've talked about protecting the access to your data, but how do you defend your data itself? So I say it's really important to back up your data, and one important rule I think you should remember is the 2 copies rule. Always save important data in 2 copies. For example, if you have cloud storage and you have all your pictures in cloud storage, there's no knowing what happens to that company tomorrow. Your internet could be cut off, the company might get shut down, they might get attacked themselves, and you don't have access to your pictures anymore. You always should have another copy somewhere else. For example, have a USB stick. Those are pretty robust hardware. Like if it falls or something, it will still work after. So you don't need to be too weird with it. Or maybe use an external hard drive and put it somewhere safe that you won't move a lot. But it's always good to have two copies, because if something happens to one copy, you can always pull the backup from the other copy. And believe me, as someone who's already lost some data that was really important to them, you really want to do that. Another important part is to keep your software and operating system updated. Basically, think of our friend SpongeBob over here. If someone tells you that you have a tear in your pants, you wouldn't walk around all day like that, right? You'll want to either patch your pants or just change to a different pair of pants, right? Same thing with your software. It's basically someone let the service provider know that they have some kind of a hole in their system that exposes something that it's not meant to expose. And the ISP wants to protect you. Sorry, the software provider wants to protect you, and they put out a patch, something to close up your pants, or maybe they give you a fresh pair, for example. And you don't want to be walking around all day just exposed like that, waiting for someone to take a picture of that. So you want to patch your things as soon as possible and close up that vulnerability. From backing up your data, I would like to talk about data that you obtain from the outside. What happens if you want to download something or you want to save a picture? Uh, I want you to remember that even with all the tools that are out there to protect you, like anti-malware, firewalls, all the privacy settings and everything, you also have a lot of personal responsibility in this. It's the same thing as when you walk outside, you don't only trust the cops to protect you. You don't walk around holding your money in your hands, just counting your bills for everyone to see outside. You also have a few habits and a few behaviors you use yourself to protect yourself. So same thing here. Take personal responsibility and take a few steps to make sure that what you're doing is actually safe. So when we're talking about the risks of downloading files, first of all, make sure that the address you're located in is safe. One way to do that is when you go to a URL, you'll see, for example, if we hover over the one here. Oh, it doesn't show up on stream. But once you hover over a URL, you can see it starts with HTTP or HTTPS. Look for that S because it stands for secure. It means that your connection with the destination is secure, and it's less likely that someone will hop onto that communication line and see what you're talking about. Another way to make sure that you're going to the place you want to go is to hover over links. So here in this example, again, unfortunately, it doesn't show up on stream. It says the link is innocent. If you actually hover over it, you'll see on the bottom left corner of your browser, or bottom right, depends on your language settings, by the way, you'll see the full link itself, and you can see the actual address it goes to. And my example here, it goes to a malicious website, for example, noiamnot.com in this case. Another way, if you're not sure if the link you want to go to is safe or unsafe, you didn't see that enough, you don't have enough experience in that, there's tools to help you out. So a few tools that I like to remember are VirusTotal, URL Void, and PhishTank. It's websites you can go to, you can paste the link or provide the file there, and they go over a list of trusted sources that they have checked those files, and they can let you know if the file is safe or not. So keep those tools in mind and always look and listen before you open. But the thing is, sometimes scammers don't wait for you to press on something to actually get you to fall in their trap. They actively go after you. So we have phishing and scams. Basically, phishing is when someone actively tries to deceive you into giving up personal information or money. So over here in this example, we have a Discord message promising a free Steam gift, $50 for you if you go to this website. Now, let's think about it. Let's think about the red flags we have. In this case, it's a person I've never talked to before. It's a username I don't recognize, a picture I don't know who it is. I don't see a reason why they would be offering me money for nothing. I don't know them. I haven't seen them. I haven't won anything. I haven't participated in any contests or anything like that. So why would they give me money? Also, why would they send me over to a website that's located in, from what I see here, Russia? As much as I know, Steam and Russia are not really good friends right now, so I don't think they'll actually offer that. So some other red flags you can look for are urgency, for example. If someone is telling you act now quickly or else something bad happens, or this is a limited offer, like this $50 is only available for the next 24 hours, so click now or something like that, that's also a red flag. Like if someone wants to give you something, they won't put terms like that for on you. For example, think of your birthday. For example, if a friend wants to give you a gift for for your birthday, they won't say, "Oh no, your birthday was yesterday. I'm not going to give you anything now." If they want to give you a gift, they'll wait for the time they see you and then give you the gift. Right? Same thing here. No one's going to put terms on this. So another red flag is poor grammar. Some messages, because they're sent to a lot of people at once, the scammer doesn't really pay attention much to what he's doing, or sometimes it's not even their native language, and they use translate software. So you'll see some things that are not commonly said. For example, the person will present themselves as someone from your nationality, but you can see in their text that they're saying stuff that you never hear people on the street say. It's not something that is usually said from what you know. So that's another red flag. Suspicious sender address. Again, like in this case, it's not a username I recognize. It's not someone I have joined servers with. I don't know the person in this image. And oh, by the way, if we're speaking about images, a useful tool to find out if a person is who they say they are in the image, you can reverse image search using something simple as Google. You save the picture, put it on Google, and it might find some results. For example, if it's a profile picture from someone uploaded 4 years ago to Facebook, and now you're getting a message from a completely different name, completely different user, you can know it's not actually the person they claim they are. Sorry. Uh, and as I said, offers that seem too good to be true. Like over here, $50 for what? I didn't do anything. I don't think I deserve it. Yet they're offering it. Uh, I don't trust this message, and neither should you. So when you see something like this, take a minute and think about the message. Like, be real with yourself, think about it, and then decide if you want to click on it or not. And of course, you have tools from the previous slide to actually check the website before you go to it, even if you think that maybe it's connected to something that you might have said or done. But sometimes attacks are more targeted than just random messages that you can get. Sometimes scammers will try to impersonate someone and particularly go after you. They might collect some information about you. They might maybe check out your profile on social media, see what school you go to, and message you something about that school, saying like, "Hi, I'm a transfer student," or something like that, and try to really focus on you to get you to do something for them. So here I have an example for how far people have gotten with being able to impersonate someone. It's an example from a Chinese YouTuber who's showing real-time AI face transformation. It's really amazing what can happen right now. So as you can see, he's like pulling on his face, on the skin of his face and everything. You can see him eating right now. Yeah, hold on. So yeah, you can see him eating, and his face is being transformed in real time. So you have a lot of risks you need to be really careful with, and you need to remember those exist and try to spot them if possible. Take a moment, look at what you're seeing, think about this person. Like even again, if we go back to being true with yourself, like I know that I'm not gonna attract like some Victoria's Secret model or something like that. If I'll get a message from someone half my age right now, who's been on covers of magazines or something, I'm gonna tell myself like, I I don't think I'm on her level. Like there's something weird here. So again, be true to yourself. Trust your gut. If something feels wrong, It might be wrong. And also, don't let things escalate. Sometimes we think we have control of a situation and we think we can take care of a problem because we're too ashamed to approach someone with it. But thing is, if you share a problem while it's small with someone who has more skills or more tools than you, they can actually help you resolve the problem much quicker than if you let it bloat, and then it's even out of their hands and it needs a lot more energy to be actually fixed. So yeah, you may have someone be upset at you for like half an hour, or someone get angry with you, or say you should have known better or something like that. But if you, for example, approach a parent and they say that to you, they'll forgive you at some point. They'll still be there to cook dinner for you later during the day or something. But if you escalate a situation you're losing control of, and it's with some stranger who has malicious intent towards you, it might escalate to such places where there's really few tools to help you, and you might need to involve authorities and stuff like that. So as soon as you see something that you're uncomfortable with, as soon as you spot something that causes you to feel bad, or to push you away from a situation, speak up about it, involve someone. Again, the momentary embarrassment is really nothing compared to the trouble you might get into if you try to cover it up. Problems like that never go away, and it's really better to just speak up. That's the quickest way to resolve a problem. And with that, I think I'd like to conclude the talk itself with this message. Yeah, I've been saying some pretty scary stuff, but I've also mentioned a lot of tools, and basically what I want to leave you with is that you need to trust your gut. You need to be the one setting the pace. Don't fall into the trap of urgency and people who are pushing you to do something. Take a step back, think about it, do whatever feels right for you. Believe in the people who are there for you, who are around you, who care about you, like your teachers. It might be like a scout leader, it might be a teacher, it might be a good friend of yours. Like even sometimes, uh, some of my good friends were really they're really mature for their age. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. They were mature for their age, and a lot of times when I confided in them, I found solutions to problems that I was having a lot of trouble dealing with myself. So yeah, if you think like people who care about you will always listen, and even if they judge or make a bit of fun of you, deep down inside they love you and they want to help you. So take the tools I've given you and go online. Don't be afraid of these dangers because you're equipped to handle them, and you have a good surrounding that will protect you if something happens. Don't be afraid to explore what's out there because the internet is really a fantastic tool. It can broaden your horizons. It can give you a lot of knowledge. It can teach you a lot more than you learn at school. You can find a lot of good friends there. You can discover new foods that you like. You can discover places you want to see, new music you'd like, new mediums you'd like. Yeah, the online world is not something to be scared of. Think of it like going outside. Like, sure, there's cars on the road. Cars are dangerous if you think about it. It's a big hunk of metal moving really fast, and if you meet it too closely and it's going too fast, it's not a good day. But still, you're not afraid to go outside, and you're not afraid to cross the road, right? Even though, maybe as a child, you were afraid to do that, but you were taught to look left and right. Yeah, someone gave you a hand to cross with you at first until you learn to do it yourself. Same thing here. Take the hand that's offered to you. If you have any questions, if there's situations you've encountered and I didn't cover here, I would love to hear any questions or situations. If we have any questions in live chat, or if someone leaves a comment, this video will be up as a VOD. So I'll also leave a comment below. You'll see my nickname that I mentioned here. So I'm open to any and all questions, any comments. If there's a tip I missed and you think is important, or something you've learned while being online yourself, I'd love to hear that and maybe add it to the next conversation I'll do. And yeah, I think that's it. I'd love to hear your thoughts, Ryan.
Sounds good. Yeah. Thank you again for, coming out and speaking and sharing your knowledge with everyone. Just one question that I had
Yeah.
personally. Throughout your, cybersecurity career, doing, SOC and being the SOC analyst and doing other stuff in the cybersecurity field, like, enlightening people
Hmm.
on how to be safe online. I say, what's probably the most difficult thing that you've had to overcome in your profession?
Interesting question. Uh, I would say it's probably a part of what made me have the stock. It's the confusion people have with computers in general. Like people who don't really understand computers, sometimes they don't want to understand computers, and sometimes it's really just too confusing. Like, for example, math is confusing to me. I don't like math too much, so I don't deal with it. So some people feel that way about computers. They think it's some kind of mystical box that you throw something into and you get something out of, but thing is, the computers are basically just ones and zeros, which means on and off. It's just like either a light bulb is on or it's off. It's a sequence of light bulbs that creates the logic that we see and everything. It's amazing on its own, but it's hard to understand since it was developed so long. So for me, it's the hardest part is to get people to feel safe to use a computer. Like people are sure that they can completely delete the hard drive if they press a combination of buttons or something. People are afraid to even access the start menu sometimes. And getting them past that fear and getting them to understand that it's just another tool at their disposal. Like, sure, it's a complex tool, but it's still a tool and it's nothing without us. Once they understand that, they actually want to learn more and they actually want to try things for themselves. Like if they encounter an issue, they'll try to solve it themselves. If they encounter it again, I'm sorry, they'll try to solve it themselves before they contact me on the next time.
That's great. Thank you for your response. And thank you for everyone for coming in and supporting the stream. Sergey, like you said, will be, in the comments. His socials will
Hmm.
be linked in the comments if you would like to reach out to him
Yeah.
personally with any other questions. Um, but without further ado, oh yeah, did you have one more thing to say?
No, just want to say, like, I'll be in the comments down here, and also for those non cyber professionals who have a LinkedIn, they can also contact me on LinkedIn. I'm always happy to connect. My mailbox is open. Send me messages, connect with me. I'm always open to hearing new ideas. I'll love to hear your feedback and just meeting people.
Sounds good. Thank you very much. All right, everyone. We'll see
Thank
you
you,
next
Ryan.
Monday with a brand new professional, brand new topic, and join in to learn on how to be safe online, right? On how to, what's going on in the real world, right? That's what we report on here on Cyber Mondays. So I'll see you next Monday, guys. Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Thanks a lot, Ryan. Bye.
No problem.